Alright, so in the last problem, we were finding all the solutions to x to the fourth minus 81 equals 0. So this one here is the same scenario. It's already solved for x for me. So remember, our first job, we had to find r and theta for what's going on here. So if I graph that complex number, it's over and down, so it's in the fourth quadrant. So my r value is the square root of that thing squared. So 4 squared is 16. 16 times 3 is 48. Plus 4 squared is 16. So that would be 64. So my r value is 8. Okay? And then I have to find my angle. So my angle, I'm going to do that by doing my tangent. So tangent of my angle is negative 4 over 4 radical 3. So you can put that in your calculator, but 4's cancel out. You get 1 over radical 3. So that angle comes out to like negative 30 degrees. So negative 30 degrees down here, I'm going to say that that's positive 330, or 11 pi over 6. Okay. All right. So there we go. So now we're finding our n is 3, so we're finding 3 answers. So my first answer will come from when k equals 0, and then my second one, k equals 1, my third one, k equals 2. So start with 0 and cycle through until you get the number of answers that you want. All right, so here we go. We want the third root of this number. So I want the third root of r, and it just so happens that's going to be kind of nice. All right, and then I want cosine, and I want up here theta plus 2 pi k. So theta is 11 pi over 6 plus 2 pi, k is 0 in this instance, over n. Well, that's 3 right here. Okay, plus I sine of this right here. Well, so this part turns into 0. So I have 11 pi over 6 over 3. So basically the 6 and the 3 multiply, so it's 11 pi over 18. So 11 pi over 18 is not something you know from your unit circle. So basically from here it's going to be calculator work. But before I do that, I am going to go ahead and rewrite this nicely. Cube root of 8 is 2, and then it's cosine plus I sine of 11 pi over 18. Okay, so once you have that, you can go ahead and figure out your pieces. So this is a radian, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm in radians. And so I want 2 times the cosine of 11 pi over 18. So 2 cosine 11 pi over 18. So then I have negative 0.68, let's say. And then same thing, but it'll be the sine. And so plus 1.88i. Okay, so there's that first answer. All right, my next one is when k is 1 right here, so it's basically the same thing. I now know this is 2 cosine of 11 pi over 6 plus 2 pi times 1 all over 3. All right, plus I sine, and so now it's time for me to figure out what all this is. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on the calculator, but I'm just not going to use the pi, right? So I want to know what 11/6 plus 2 is. So let me just do a fraction. 11 over 6 plus 2. All right, and get that answer. And it divides by 3. So when I divide by 3, it's just going to make this an 18 down here, but I can just type it in here. So there it is, 23 pi over 18. Also, not something I know from the unit circle, so I'm just going to use my calculator. So I got 2 cosine plus I sine of 23 pi over 18. Okay, so let's see. 2 cosine, 23 pi. Alright, and then same thing, but sine. Alright, so I have negative 1.29. Oh, something's wrong with my pen. Minus 1.53i. Okay, so we'll just round off to like 2 decimal places. All right, and the last one, I got 2 cosine, I got 11 pi over 6 plus 2 pi, and this time my k value is 2 over 3 plus I sine of, let's see, so I have 11 over 6 plus, this is 4, divided by 3, nasty fraction, make it a fraction, and so 35 over 18. So 35 pi over 18. All right, so 2 cosine plus I sine, 35 pi over 18. And so let's see. So 2 cosine. All right, so 1.97 minus 0.35i. So there are my 3 answers. And if I wanted them left in cosine I sine form, I would tell you these 3 things. Okay, all right. So I'm going to do this example down at the bottom, the next example over here. But I want all the 5th roots of I. So basically it's like this. X to the 5th equals I. That's what I've kind of been told. This is another way to write it. So if x to the 5th equals I, then this is kind of annoying. I have 5 answers to do, but let's see, I. So I is another way of writing, 0 plus I. So if I'm graphing that with my reals and my imaginaries, 0 and I. So I know, 1 right there. I know my R value is 1. I know my angle is pi over 2. So at least I know that. I could also use 90. If I'm using 90 degrees in my formula, instead of putting 2 pi right here, I would use the number 360. So I would put 90 plus 360 times whatever over whatever. Okay. All right, so let's do this down here. So I start off with k equals 0. I'd have to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so here we go. K equals 0. So I'm going to have my my first answer. My R value is 1, so it's the 5th root of 1, but that's going to be 1. And then cosine plus I sine, so cosine, I need theta, so pi over 2, plus 2 pi times 0 over k over n, which is 5. All right, plus I sine of, let's see, pi over 2 plus nothing divided by 5, that's pi over 10. So I think what I'm going to do here, I showed you how to do the calculator stuff here, so I'm just not going to do that over on this answer. I'm just going to write my answer like this, cosine plus I sine of pi over 10, because my R value is 1 in front, so I don't really need to write that either. Okay, so here, 1 cosine, I need pi over 2 plus 2 pi, k is 1 now, over 5. So I get basically pi over 2 plus 2 pi. So 1/2 plus 2, that's 2.5, so that's 5 halves. So 5 halves divided by 5 is 5 over 2 times 1/5. Yeah, it's 1/2. Okay, so that was confusing me for a second. So I sine pi over 2. All right, so I want cosine plus I sine of pi over 2. So that wouldn't be a hard one to figure out, okay, to get the format here for. All right, so 1 cosine pi over 2 plus 2 pi, k is now 2, all over 5. So I have 1/2 plus 4, so that's 4.5, so that's 9 over 2. So 9 over 2 divided by 5, that would be 9 over 10. So 9 pi over 10. So cosine I sine of 9 pi over 10. And that would be in my calculator if I needed to. All right, here, 1 cosine pi over 2 plus 2 pi, k is now 3 over 5. All right, so 1/2 plus 6, so that's 6.5, that's 13 over 2. So 13 over 2 times divided by 5, so it's 13 over 10. So cosine plus I sine of 13 pi over 10. And last one, 1 cosine pi over 2 plus 2 pi times 4 over 5. All right. And here, let's see, 1/2 plus 8, so 8.5. So that's 16, 17 over 2, and then 5 there. So 17 over 2, that's 17 pi over 10. So that would be cosine plus I sine 17 pi over 10. And again, if I needed the calculator, I would just, type it in like we did up here. Okay, so remember on your homework tonight, you are skipping 48 and 49. Well, I'll make you do those in class next time. That's it. Bye-bye.